Judy Chicago was born with the name of Judith Sylvia Cohen in 1939, and we talked a little bit about how she did an artwork, which is called a feminist artwork, in the form of a triangular table that's huge with place settings that honor women from all through history. So there's a section of history for each side of this three-sided table, this triangular table. And so we are talking a little bit about honoring. And one of the things about Judy Chicago is she loves to have meaning in everything she does in all of her art. And so we are going to talk about people that you want to honor. Who is somebody that you maybe gain significance from, or somebody that inspires you, or someone that directly impacted your life? So who is somebody that has supported you? And I want you to think about honoring that person. So she has people throughout history, women throughout history for each of the place settings. So we're going to have a kind of like a place setting. And so to get an idea of what a place setting in her table would look like, we looked at Sacagawea. And Sacagawea was a woman who was taken captive, and she was forced to marry a Canadian. And you can see we have different place settings for different individuals. And we talked about Sacagawea and how she helped the Lewis and Clark expedition survive. And she's a woman to be honored. And so one of the things that they did to honor her was had a circular or a plate with images from her Shoshone background. And underneath they had buckskin and like 40,000 beads. It's hard to see in this image, but these are beads. And the colors mean something, the fabric means something. Her name, Sacagawea, had to do with a bird, and so they even have a bird in the letter S. So, but for your project, I'd like you to have a background and something inside of a circle. So we're going to work with Photopia in this project. We're going to make a new project, and you would name it Judy Chicago Style. And put your name. All right. And then go ahead and choose for a size, something probably square. I'm going to use the Instagram size 1080 by 1080 pixels, but the size is not too important. Just to remember that this is to represent kind of like a place setting. So pick a size, name it your name, Judy Chicago Style, hit create. And then we are going to bring in an image that represents the person you want to honor. So the person I want to honor, her name's Heidi Baker. And so she has water as a part of her lifestyle. So I'm going to choose this image. If you're on a Chromebook, you hold down the Alt button and you click on an image. Find an image that represents something important to your person. If you're on a Chromebook, you Alt click. If you're on a Mac, you would Control click. And if you're on a PC, you would right click. Bring out that drop down menu and copy the image. So this image would be your background image. So I'm going to paste it. Control V is how you paste, or Command V on a Mac. And then we're going to bring in another image. So think of another image that represents the person that you want to honor and how they were significant to you. Copy the image, bring it into Photopia, and then position it in the middle. So I want you to think of this as the background, and then this image, your next image would be a plate. So then from here, we're going to make it a plate shape. So the second tool down in the toolbar is looks like rectangular select whenever you get there. This is a selection tool, the second one on the toolbar. If you click and hold, you'll see ellipse select. Choose ellipse select. And holding down shift, I'd like you to draw out a circle over the area of the image that you want to keep. Now, if you don't get it perfectly where you want it, don't worry. You can use the arrow tools on your keyboard to move it small amounts. You can also go to Select, Transform Selection, and this allows you to resize, but make sure when you resize, you hold down Shift. That was Select, Transform, Select. That allows you to adjust your selection. Okay, once you've adjusted it, if you used Transform Select, you hit Return or Enter. And then you're going to press this Mask button, which is at the bottom of the Layers panel. And now you have a circular image that is representing the plate of your place setting. Now, if you want to add some more items into this image, that's fine. You can add, as Judy Chicago did, she added a goblet and a knife, fork, and spoon for each person, and she labeled it with their name. So to add the name of the person, you can go here to the type tool, and the type tool, then you could type it on a whole new layer if you'd like, which is probably easiest. At the top of the screen, there are a series of fonts in a drop-down menu. Pick a font that would be related to their personality or what they did to be significant in your life. So choose a font that fits their personality, choose images that fit them, and everything should have meaning. Just like in Judy Chicago's work, everything has meaning. The colors, the images, and the shapes of things, what kind of items are used, all of it has meaning, and that's really key to Judy Chicago's work. So then add the name of the person that you want to honor. And then if you need to resize it, you can use your arrow tool, make sure transform controls are on, hold down shift as you resize it, and make sure you choose a font that you like. If you need to later, now like when I look at this as a bigger font in her name, I don't think it fits her personality, so I'm going to change that font. So to change it, I double click on the text, it selects it. Another way you can do that is you double click on the T in the layers panel, and you can make adjustments here. You can change colors there. There's some other tools you can use to make it look interesting. I'll show you that really quick. I'm not going to take a long time to choose a font right now, but I want you to think through what color choices you use and why. So I'm going to choose a different set of colors. And then there's another option that you can apply to your font, and it's right down here at the bottom of the screen. It says new, right here, it says effects right here. And there's some interesting effects that you can apply to your fonts, like bevel and emboss, or outer shadow, inner glow, color overlay. You can play around with these and try something that you like. And then you are welcome to use blending modes and try a blending mode that works for you. All right, then when you're done, you're going to go File, Save as PSD. That saves it so you can alter it. It downloads it on your computer. And then you go File, Export as, JPEG if it's photographic, if it's more solid colors or has transparency, use PNG. But mine has a lot of photographic stuff, so I'm using JPEG. I save it. And then when we go into your Google document, We want to open your artwork Google document. And so you're going to go in to your Google Docs. Oh, this is a document I was looking at earlier. I want to exit that. Go to my drive. All right, and then your artwork folder, your artwork portfolio. And then last, we're going to place it in there. So in your artwork document, you're going to go here to the top and you go insert image, and then usually it's in your drive or you can upload it from your computer. So then once you've imported it, then we're going to give it a label, artwork in the style of Judy Chicago. And then the medium is digital imagery, Photopia, using Photopia. And put your date and your name in there. So I've got my image, I'm putting it in, and then we put in the label. So you would label yours art in the style of Judy Chicago, give it a title, and medium is digital imaging using Photopia, and then the size actual, and then by your name and the dates. So just make sure you put that in your portfolio document, and that's it. All right, remember, you are powerful and infinitely valuable. Treat others the same. Hopefully you learned a little bit about Judy Chicago and how to honor others.